When it comes to space, too often, for too many years, our dreams of exploration and discovery were really squandered by politics and bureaucracy, and we knocked that out. So important for our psyche, what you're doing. It's going to be important monetarily and militarily, but so important for right up here, the psyche. We don't want China and Russia and other countries leading us. We've always led. We've gone way far afield for decades now, having to do with our subject today. We're going to be the leader by far. We're behind you 1,000%. When it comes to defending America, it is not enough to merely have an American presence in space. We must have American dominance in space. So important. Very importantly, I'm hereby directing the Department of Defense and Pentagon to immediately begin the process necessary to establish a Space Force as the 6th branch of the armed forces. That's a big statement. I am instructing my administration to embrace the budding commercial space industry. We are modernizing out-of-date space regulations. They're way out of date. They haven't been changed in many, many years. And today we're taking one more step to unleash the power of American ingenuity. In a few moments, I will sign a new directive to federal departments and agencies. They will work together with American industry to implement a state-of-the-art framework for space traffic management.
Together, affordable telescopes made available to the public, home-based editing software, and a popular public medium such as YouTube. Considering how I stepped outside and took this image of the moon with a mere Canon Rebel camera with a 300 zoom lens, you'd think that someone, somewhere possessing a more powerful telescope would eventually capture strong evidence of alien activity. They have. Bill Bryson hasn't been active in a few years, but when he was often, well, corny in his delivery and may have jumped to some conclusions, but he also captured this. I count at least 10 UFOs passing here, once more in slow motion. From the United States East Coast, William Duran used a 12.5-inch telescope to capture something incredible. And that object exited that crater, shifted directions at about a 45-degree angle, and then followed the curvature of the moon away from us. In slow motion, notice the shadow briefly visible on the crater wall. Crow 777 is the guy who first showed us the mysterious moon wave phenomenon. And as you'll see, he's also captured some other very compelling stuff. This guy is thorough, making certain his findings aren't mundane by checking things such as known satellite patterns, and he even has other astronomers more than 500 miles away comparing what they're seeing simultaneously. Take a listen to Crow 777.
And this object was shot in 2013, and it's really quick, but I'll tell you what, it's nowhere near the speed of a satellite. We've filmed many satellites, and I include one in the very end of this clip just so folks can see what satellites look like. This is slowed down to 30%. Okay, this is a smaller object coming in at the right here. This was shot in 2014. And again, you can see the halo. It's really heavy on the upper side of this. It's not even at all. And I put a filter on to kind of demonstrate the halo effect, but I blended it with the original clip so that it's not too heavy. But you can distinctly see the halo and that it's thicker on one side than the other.
This aircraft was using extremely high voltages, and the voltages would ionize the air around the vehicle so much that it would start producing X-ray photons.
Something that was described by Michele Alcubierre in his 1994 paper on warp drive, the creation of a warp drive that would not violate general relativity. One of the things that he was suggesting was that you would be able to engineer a vector or a pair of vectors in space-time that would, on the one hand, cause a compression of space-time ahead of the vehicle and an expansion of space-time behind the vehicle.
Environmental conditions that you experience inside the spacecraft are pretty much pegged to the time and place that you start out from.
So you don't have any sense of g-forces or being moved around. You don't have any sense of acceleration, because the entire pocket of space-time that you're encapsulated in is being accelerated by the vectors that are created around the system.
Here, Crow 777 has captured what appears to be a spacecraft firing a glowing propulsion unit. He describes how the craft responds accordingly when this set of 3 thrusters fire. Whatever this is, it's an incredible catch. And he's got a lot more to offer, so make sure to visit Crow 777. Now, before we look at the next astronomer and his work, check out this restored image from the Apollo archives. Brett Shepard is an amazing talent and friend who has a great story we'll cover further in another presentation. But in this image, he's truly helping us to see what is being hidden in plain sight. It's important that you see this. It will help you to rationalize what you're going to see next. Bruce Swartz, aka Bruce Sees All, is dedicated to busting this thing wide open for the rightful sake of humanity. Bruce is finding ways to cut through the filters many of us believe are keeping us from seeing the true surface of the moon. He's using 3D imagery techniques to essentially map out what he claims are artificial surface structures. Entire cities, people. And while others are wasting time strictly adhering to what they've been taught, Bruce is busy creating roadmaps of the moon. John Lear tells us that as many as 250 million people are living on the moon, and that there is a breathable atmosphere present. Maybe he's right. And you heard right, he said people. But keep in mind, if they're not born on Earth, they are still considered extraterrestrials. They're not one of us. Beware.
that we don't usually see, right? Zoomed out. And even when we're very close in, we don't usually see these. There's color also on the surface. See, change the hue of the surface. Wow, do you see what's there? 1, 2, 3. I mean, this is Clavius crater. This is Plato crater right here that you're seeing. What's this? It is 2 UFO crafts crossing paths. The fact that it's going through clouds is astonishing me. And I do think they are crafts because we see them sort of stopping, right? They're in, even though it's slow motion, they're sort of hovering and they're moving left and right. But just look at the cloud cover. Look at it moving over the surface. It's moving like there's wind, like there's an atmosphere on the surface. Now you want to see atmosphere? What the heck is this? What are they flying through? Look what's on the surface. I mean, I'm close now, and what the hell? It looks like they're flying through clouds. I mean, hey, look, it's not cloudy down here on Earth. Now you're going to witness 2 UFOs, maybe 3. One looks like his shadow's on the ground, that close. If not, there's 3 here. Right there. A bigger craft. You could tell it's bigger too because they're basically close to one another. Now here it is as it's coming up in the north side. Now where's the other one? It's still here, and it's also coming up here.
Hey, take a look at this. A police dash camera captured this strange sight in the sky. The Northport Police Department in Sarasota sharing the video on Facebook. It has since gone viral. What is that bright light? Reports say it's a fireball, a brighter than usual meteor that explodes on re-entry there. Wow, look at that.
Yeah.